3rd. It is 1:05. This is a regularly scheduled public safety meeting. Counselor Tate is out, so I will be taking the chair for 1 hour in her absence. And we're going to run through these as quickly and expeditiously as possible because we have a lot of items on the agenda. Have you had an opportunity to look at the minutes?
Motion for approval.
All right, second, those minutes are approved. Okay, we're going to start with liquor licenses. Detective Fikes, if you will please read the first item.
First item will be Jazzy Ales LLC, 1155 Bankhead Highway, Birmingham, Alabama, 35204. Shanice Lewis.
All right, Mr. Lowe, or Detective Fikes, is there any incidents at this location?
No incidents. I think she's updating her safety plan.
Okay, good deal. Mr. Lowe?
Property is Zone B2 General Business District, and it does meet zoning requirements.
Okay, Ms. Brown?
She's in good standing with Texas and license.
Okay, this applicant is before us to look over their safety plan. As previously stated, they went to the Thomas Neighborhood Association on 3-5, 5 opposed, 7 supported. Thank you for being here. If you'll state your name and address for the record, please.
Shanice Lewis. My business address is 1155 Suite E, Bankhead Highway.
Okay. And then will you go over, please, what you are... Okay. Yeah, will you go over what you have changed for us, as well as remind this committee about what you're trying to do here?
Yes, sir. I'm in process of getting my liquor license for my new business that has not yet opened. Last meeting, which was 2 weeks ago, I needed to update my hours of operation. So on Monday and Tuesday, I'm closed. Thursday, I'm closed. Wednesday, I'm open. I will be open from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. On Fridays and Saturday, I'll be open from 8 to 2, and that hour from 1 to 2 is from cleanup and breakdown of tables and cleaning up the center. And that's on Fridays and Saturdays. Sunday, the opening hours is from 10 to 6 p.m., 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay, and then I believe you said on Saturday, Friday and Saturday.
Yes, sir.
It was operating at 8 to 1, and then the extra hours were linked.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
do you mean 8 a.m. or 8 p.m.?
8 p.m.
Okay, 8 p.m. And this is a event center?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what type of events are you looking at having?
The night, so like baby showers, receptions, repasses. I've even had a few people drive up when I'm doing stuff on the inside of the building to ask about even having Bible study there. Parties, adult parties, as far as birthday parties, again, anniversary parties, and so on and so forth.
Okay, and then the updates to your safety plan, can you kind of let me know, I have your safety plan on file here in front of me. Would you mind, and so does our other committee members, would you mind letting me know what the safety plan
It's the last page.
looks like? I mean, what have you changed, and how will you implement the safety plan?
Okay, so I have, as far as security, I have a minimum, they will have a minimum of 5 security, 3 on the inside of the building, 2 on the outside. And I'm going to implement a, excuse me, an off-duty Birmingham police officer, excuse me, or a off-duty Jefferson County Sheriff as well. I do have cameras, color and night vision cameras around the facility. I have 5 on the outside, 2 facing the front parking lot of the building, and they're, spanned out like this, so you can see both sides of the front of the parking lot. I have 2 toward the side of the parking lot. Again, they're spanned out, where you can see the road and also the side of the building. I have 1 facing the entrance of the front door. Other 3 are on the inside of the building. When you first enter the building, I have 1 spanning out where you can see the entire level of the first floor, which it is a 1-level building. I have the other one on the back side of the floor where you can see facing toward the front door. The third one inside is actually in the back room where you can see the back room, the back door, and also where the hallway where the bathrooms are.
Okay. And then how are you going to promote this business?
More than likely flyers and word of mouth.
Okay, and then will you be using any or allowing any groups to have events that they self-promote?
That would be the flyers.
Okay, so one thing that we've had a particular issue with, and I'll let my committee member ask questions in a minute, but one thing that we've had particular incidents with that I have been very vocal about there being an issue is event centers allowing other people to hold events in them and then them self-promoting it. As recently as last weekend, that's where the deadly shooting took place that killed so many people and injured so many more in North Birmingham. And it seems that it's a constant problem with these event centers. So anyway, that's the purpose of me asking that. Councilor Moore, do you have any questions for this?
I did. So this question was probably directed to you all. Just for the record, what are the recommendations that we ask for people to include in their safety plan? Is there anything in particular or particular things that we ask for them to include in their safety plan?
They should be provided with a copy of the Fielder's Law, which outlines everything they should have in place as far as safety. I've looked at hers. It's sufficient for what she's going to be doing if she sticks to her plans of monitoring the events that you have there. Like I said, the problem with having event centers is that they're having stuff that self-promoted, and you're allowing people to use it, and it blows up. So we got to control it's your facility. So you have to control the events and what they're having there. Most of the other event centers, I know some owners, they actually monitor their event while it's going on. If they see it getting out of hand, they respond, they call the police. You tell them you're having something, you're having something totally different. So you got to make sure that you monitor
Yes, sir.
your events, what they say they're having, make sure they're having that.
Yes,
and not self-promoting these events that just blow up like
Understood.
we had last week, you know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I guess for you, I'm sorry, what's your name again?
Shanice Lewis.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Lewis, what is the square footage of the space? Do you know?
I don't have the paperwork with me. I would have to look at my phone. Give me just a second, please.
I would say roughly about 5,000 square feet.
Yeah,
5,000 square feet?
Yes.
And I guess, I asked that question because, if it does get to the point to where, there are a lot of people that are coming in, what would be the capacity of the space? Like, have we identified a number to tell her to know?
Ms. Lewis, what is your occupancy of your building? What's the occupancy number?
I don't have that yet. They've already come out and did the survey of it.
Okay.
So, but I don't have the numbers yet.
Okay, so you need to know that.
Yes, sir.
That's crucial. You need to know that. So there's things that we'll be going by checking to make sure that they're not over occupancy level. Because so far, that's what the biggest thing is. It's been overcrowded.
Overcrowded, yes,
And,
sir.
yeah, okay.
Got you.
So Councilman Moore, they'll actually come from tax and license. And they will receive that pending, they go through the process fully. So we'll know exactly that, probably next week or so, or.
That is actually one of the inspections that is required, a certificate of occupancy, and that normally happens closer to the end of the time the application is complete. Before the resolution is released and license are obtained, they have to have a certificate of occupancy. So I'm not sure if they've been out yet, but normally they would give me that information, and that is provided to the applicant before they are to open, and they are to post that in the building.
Got you. Okay. And again, I know that that's something that has been an issue, for us in terms of just making sure that, people do manage their space properly so that we don't have overcrowdedness or a lot of people coming in and causing more issues. And so just wanted to find that out. But I'll kick it back over to you.
Do you have I don't have any further comments or
Got you.
questions. Do you have a motion?
I move for approval.
Okay.
I move for approval.
And then I'm voting no. So this will be,
We had a question.
Okay, I got two things, if you don't mind.
yes, sir.
All right, first thing is
Speaking to the mic.
okay. Well, the first thing is that when we talk about your event center, and then that's everyone that's here who has the event center, the security or the police, they work for you all. All right, we need to make sure of that, and that's identified, that they don't work for whoever's having the event. All right, because the incident that we had that the chairperson was talking about, that security worked for those people. They didn't work for the event itself. All right, and that's one way we need to be able to relate to the people who's at the event. The second thing is, everyone here in their safety plans, they have that, they're gonna have a camera system. All right, one of the things I'm gonna ask this panel is that all your camera systems need to be linked to our real-time crime unit. And I think that's very important, all right? Because if you ain't willing to link it to our real-time crime unit, you're not really helping us.
Okay.
I think, I know Mr. Chair is occupied right now, but I think that's a very valid point. Is that something that can be made into a requirement?
Yes, that's what I'm
for the
asking
safety
for.
plan?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Chair.
Councilor Moore, will you go over that requirement that you're asking for one more time?
So the suggestion was made that, a lot of these event centers are saying, or businesses are saying, hey, we have a camera system, but the suggestion was made that that actually be linked, it be required that that be linked to our real-time crime center. So those camera systems can now be essentially seen by the police department, and they'll have some view into what's going on.
Would the city attorney's office like to comment whether that's legal or not? Because I've suggested that ad nauseum and have been shot down.
Julie Bernard, I serve as Assistant City Attorney in the Office of City Attorney. There's not a requirement in the Felder ordinance. It existed before the Real-Time Crime Center. If the council wants to look at that, the cameras are a requirement to have them in the Felder ordinance. The police have made, that you can link into the Real-Time Crime Center, and that's generally been made voluntary. We can discuss, how we can make it mandatory, but, that could be a preference to encourage the licensees to go ahead and do that.
So we would just need to make an ordinance to make that a requirement.
We could look at
There's a
considering
financial
that. I haven't thought through all the legal issues, but we could look at that at, making it part of the Felder ordinance, if that's, if there's a desire to require it.
Mr. Chair, I wouldn't have a problem with that being something that we push for, seeing as how that's something that you brought up several times before.
Sure, we can put that under new business, but notice that there's a financial requirement and an obligation of this administration to have to follow through and have the willingness to connect, but.
I agree. I'm just making the suggestion of the way we can put it down somewhere where it's a requirement.
Okay. Ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Lewis? Would
Yes,
you
sir.
be willing to connect to the Real-Time Crime Center if the
Yes, sir.
price was approximately $400 to buy the equipment to connect?
Okay.
I'm
Is it
asking you.
I'm
It's not a requirement right
Okay.
now. I'm just asking you.
So, about the ordinance. So you have to pass an ordinance first before this to happen?
We don't have to pass it. The ability to connect is already there.
Okay.
But it's not a requirement right now whatsoever. So answering this is not a trick question. I'm just asking, would you, if that's something you would be willing to do, is to connect to the Real-Time Crime Center?
In the future, yeah, but if I don't have to right now,
I got you, because
Yes, sir.
the pricing, okay. All right, based on Ms. Lewis's willingness to connect, I'm going to change my vote to a yes, and so you'll go before the full council whenever, I think that Mr. Stanley will reach out to you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, next item, Detective Fikes.
Next item will be the Green Bean LLC, 3108 Park Avenue Southwest, Birmingham, Alabama, 35221, Raymond Miller.
All right, I know that this group is back, but Detective Fikes, was there any incidents at this location?
No incidents at this location.
Okay, and then for zoning, Mr. Lowe, are we,
Still, zone C2, general commercial, and they do meet zoning requirements.
okay, Ms. Brown, tax and license is still good?
Yes, they're still good.
All right, gentlemen, if you'll state your name and address for the record, please.
Okay, how everyone doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. My name is Deshaun Kidd,
I'm Raymond Miller.
and we're the owners of the Green Bean, and our address is 3108 Park Avenue Southwest, Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay, if you'll please go over what you did for a safety plan.
Okay, the changes we made on our safety plans were the hours of operation, which for rental purposes, we will be open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'm sorry, for rental purposes, we will be open from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. And on Monday through Fridays, we'll be open from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Let me try to understand that. Okay, so when are you open from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m.? What days of the week are that?
Those are just like for people who want to rent the club out, like just say if somebody want to rent it out on a Wednesday.
Okay.
Or
And-
what?
And then Monday through Friday is 9 to 2?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then what's Saturday and Sunday?
We're not open on Saturday or Sunday. Well, Saturday we'll be open for events. Yep, to 9 o'clock.
Okay, and then what kind of events are you gonna be having?
We'll be having baby showers, brunches, kids' birthday parties.
What baby shower, what brunch, and what kid's birthday party is from 9 to 2 a.m.?
We don't know the exact time because people have different times, so that's why we put that time frame for, from 10 to 9. Because like we had a brunch, they wanted to do their brunch from 11 to 3. And then we also have had a kid's birthday party. They wanted to do their kid's birthday party from 4 to 8.
Okay, not to be like a broken record, but I'm gonna tell you gentlemen the same thing that I told Ms. Lewis. We have a issue with these event centers in the city of Birmingham causing issues. We saw it last week with a mass shooting that's still being reported on CNN. It is a problem. They all say the same thing. They all say that our hours of operations are till 2 a.m. They all say it's for repasses, baby showers, and weddings. However, somehow they're all open till 2 a.m. and none of them seem to be a baby shower, a repass, or a wedding. So I'm having issues with that. When your safety plan, it says that you will purchase cameras in the future. Have you purchased these cameras to date?
Yes, we have cameras. We have 8 cameras with ADT.
Okay.
We have their camera system. We have 2 in the front of the building, 2 on this. They get both sides of the building, and we have 2 on the back of the building. So the whole building is surrounded with surveillance.
Okay, and then it's my understanding also that those ADT cameras cannot be connected to the real-time crime center. Is that correct? Do we have anybody at BPD?
I think they can. They can.
Okay, so since it's a cloud-based server, correct? The ADP is?
But,
ADT.
we have no problem with turning in cameras or whatever. No problem.
Okay, another issue that you have with your establishment is the parking. How are you going to control what happens in the parking lot?
We're going to have 2 police officers, 2 off-duty police officers in our parking lots on the nights that we are open, along with our security company that we have a contract with. That's going to be our security team. So we'll have
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the first thing that I was talking about. Repast, wedding, children's birthday. What are y'all doing from 9 PM to 2 AM?
That's when we'll be throwing our own parties.
Okay, what do your own parties look like?
Like a lounge.
Yeah,
A lounge?
Yes.
Okay, so if you have a lounge, if you're operating a lounge, that is not an acceptable form under this liquor license. I have a motion to deny.
Second.
All right, that item, it will be recommended to a no vote to the city council, and the full city council will vote. You can overturn that with the full city council's vote. However, since you are going to be operating a lounge, that is not a permissible use, and my vote will probably be pretty consistent. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. Yeah, so yeah, all in favor?
Say aye.
Aye. All right, so that will go to the full city council. I think that, that Greg will reach out when that goes before the full city council for a vote with a no recommendation. All right, Detective Fikes, next item.
Next item will be Joyland Avondale LLC, 3719 Third Avenue South, Birmingham, Alabama, 35222, Constance Rutledge.
All right, Detective, are there any incidents at this location?
No incidents.
Okay, Mr. Lowe, do we have any issues with zoning?
Zone M1 light industrial meets all requirements.
Okay, Ms. Brown, any issues with tax and licensing?
They're good with taxes and license.
All right, this applicant, came before Forest Park South Avondale Neighborhood Association on June the 17th. 11 were in attendance and all 11 voted to support this item. If you'll state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, I'm Molly Seckman. Joyland's at 3719 Third Avenue South.
Okay, what will you be doing here?
So we are a fast casual restaurant. We do breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Any questions, Counselor?
No, sir. I move for approval.
Second, that item, all in favor, that item passes.
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
Next item, Detective Fikes.
Next item will be Freedom 4 LLC, 1316 Bessemer Road, Suite A, Birmingham, Alabama, 35216, Zachary Steed.
All right, Detective, do we have any incidents at this location?
No incidents.
All right, Mr. Lowe, any issues with zoning?
Property zone C2 general commercial, and it does meet zone requirements.
All right, Ms. Brown.
They are not good, and I spoke with Mr. Steed before the meeting, and he knows what he needs to do.
Okay, is it something that can be fixed, or is it something that needs to be delayed to get fixed?
Yes, it can be fixed.
It can be fixed. Good, okay, good deal. This applicant went, before Bellevue Heights Neighborhood Association on 3/12 of this year. 10 were in attendance, 0 opposed, 7 supported, 3 abstained. If you'll state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, I'm Zach Steed. We operate the Firefly Shell at 1316 Bessemer Road, Birmingham 35208, which is
Okay,
a slight change there from the agenda, but
Okay, and you're just looking for beer and wine, correct?
that's correct.
Okay, do you have any questions?
This is not something that needs a safety plan, does it? Gotcha. Okay. No questions. Move for approval.
All right, second, that item is approved. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Next item, Detective Fikes.
Next item will be Armand House LLC, 2309 First Avenue North, Suite 101, Birmingham, Alabama, 35203, Caleb Reeves. No incidents.
All right, Mr. Lowe, how are we with zoning?
Zone B4 Central Business District meets all zoning requirements.
All right, Ms. Brown, tax and licensing?
Yes, they're good with taxes and license.
Okay, good deal. This, lounge did go before the Central City Neighborhood Association on 7/16 of this year. 20 were in attendance, all 20 supported with no opposition. If you'll state your name and address, please, gentlemen.
Caleb Reeves, 2309 First Avenue North, Birmingham, Alabama.
I'm Jeffrey Compton.
Okay, this is y'all are asking for a lounge Class 1 liquor license, is that correct?
That is correct, for our Pogo cocktail bar space.
Okay, if you'll just let me know, will you kind of describe to this committee what you're going to be doing?
Of course. So Be a cocktail bar, have seating for 80 people with estimated capacity about 110 people. No dancing for entertainment of any kind. It will have, emphasis on cocktails, maybe 1 or 2 piece jazz music on the weekends, meant for more of a finer dining cocktail bar.
Okay. Reviewing your safety plan, just wanted to confirm the hours of operation are correctly as printed from Tuesday to Thursday, 4:30 to 12 a.m., and from Friday and Saturday, 4:30 to 1:30 a.m. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Counselor, do you have any
Yes.
questions or comments?
What kind of security system would you have?
So we will have, obviously, the surveillance cameras totaling between the 2 spaces, 23 cameras. We also will have a security guard on site checking all identification upon entering the property. And then we also will make sure we have at least 1, if not 2 managers on duty to assist security instances.
What kind of surveillance cameras?
Do you know?
I'm not particular, it's with Spear Audio, we're doing high-end work, so I'm sure, there'll be high definition.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and night vision.
And would you all be willing to also tie into the real-time crime center?
It's connected to a building, with residences in the building, so I'm kind of unsure, I'm not willing to speak on that, because some of those are filming, the residences leaving in and out. I'm not really willing to answer that. We're just leasing the space in between, the 2 spaces at the bottom of the larger building. So, I mean, yes, if obligated, yes, we will, but, I don't know if I don't know if I'm able to speak on that when it comes to the residents of the rest of the 20 tenants that live in the building.
I think we're a little confused whether it's going to, because there's 3 other floors. We're not sure if our network's going to be independent of theirs, and we would need to seek permission of our, more or less the property management group to make sure that we're more than willing to allow access to the cameras in our business space. We want you to be able to feel that we're operating with full integrity. However, we just need to make sure it's separate from the residents and the additional, 3 floors that are for residents, if that makes sense.
Correct. That's fair. I'll move for approval.
All right, second, that item's approved. And, Mr. Chandler, reach out for when it goes before the full council. All in favor?
Say aye, aye.
All right, next item, Detective Fikes.
Next item will be Jack Hospitality. Jack Hospitality LLC, 2015 2nd Avenue North, Birmingham, Alabama, 35203. Emily McDaniel.
Hey, Emily McDaniel. We are, let's see, 2015 2nd Avenue North. We're opening a new restaurant. There's office space up above. It's about 4,800 square feet.
Okay. Detective Fikes, you said there were no incidents at this location?
No incidents.
All right, Mr. Lowe, is that good?
Property Zone B4, Central Business District, they do meet zoning requirements.
Ms. Brown?
They are good with taxes and license.
All right, y'all are seeking just a restaurant retail liquor license?
Correct.
Okay. These applicants went to Central City Neighborhood Association on 7/16. 20 were in attendance and all 20 supported. Do you have any questions, Counselor?
Yes, I do. I'm really upset and disappointed as I look at this this menu, and I do not see angel biscuits at all anywhere.
I mean, next door.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. I'll move for approval.
All right, move for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, item passes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, next item, Detective.
We'll be going back to item number 6. It's gonna be Armor House LLC again. They will have an address of 2309 First Avenue North, Suite 201. Mr. Caleb Reeves again.
All right, what's going, can y'all explain the delineation of the two?
Yes, sir. So the entrance from First Avenue will enter into Armor House, which is the LLC for both businesses. This will be a fine dining steakhouse, more or less, or a beef brasserie with seating capacity for about 120. I think the occupancy will be about 155 to 160. This is a full restaurant. And downstairs is a cocktail bar.
Is economic development getting assisting this? Is this, or is the city of Birmingham assisting this development? That's, okay, that's, okay. All right, Counselor, do you have a motion, do you have a question or a motion on
Hold
the
on, I'm
second
sorry.
entrance?
I missed what's the difference between the two?
All right, so the entrance off of First Avenue enters on technically the second floor, which will be a fine dining restaurant.
Okay.
So serve food, more similar to a steakhouse. And then downstairs on the Morris Avenue entrance, that's also connected through the top space, is the cocktail bar that we spoke about previously.
Got you.
Yes, sir.
Got you. Okay. Cool. And help me understand, like, location-wise, I heard you say Morris. Is this over by, close to the Mercantile?
It is close, yes, sir. It's about a block closer to Red Mountain Expressway from the Merchants aisle. So the old Armor & Co. building is where
Okay.
we're housed in.
Got you. Okay. No further questions. I'll move for approval.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that is approved.
Thank you.
Next
Thank you very
item,
much.
Detective Fikes.
Next item will be Terrific New Theater, Inc., 2112 Fifth Avenue North, Birmingham, Alabama, 35213. Ms. Tamara DeBolt, no incidents.
All right, any incidents at that location, Detective?
No incidents.
Okay, Mr. Lowe?
Zone B4 Central Business District meets zoning requirements.
Ms. Brown?
They are good with taxes and license.
All right, this applicant went to the Central City Neighborhood Association on 7/16 as well, same attendance and same 20 supported. If you will please state your name and address for the record and let us know what you're doing.
Yes, sir. My name is Tamara DeBolt, and the address for Terrific New Theater is 2112 Fifth Avenue North, 35203.
Okay, and what are y'all gonna be doing?
We are a nonprofit community theater. We will present live performances, plays, and musicals, 6 per year, per calendar year. They usually run 3 weekends for each show. So our operating hours are not really standard for a regular business.
Understood. Do you have any questions, Councilor Moore?
Yeah, I was just looking over the safety plan, and you all will not have a security officer.
We do not plan to have one. We will always have someone in the lobby. The patrons will be in the middle of the building enjoying the show, and we will have a board member and an usher probably staying in the lobby. The back door is automatically locked, so there's no entrance from the back. So our only concern would be the front, just for safety of the patrons.
Got you. And currently, you all don't know what your full occupancy will be.
We have 100 seats.
100 seats? Okay.
So we cannot have more than that in the auditorium. If we count actors and stage crew, it would be more than that, but I don't have an occupancy certificate yet because we don't occupy the building yet.
Got you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll move for approval.
Second, all right, that item's approved, and you'll go before the full council, and I think Greg's gonna give you a shout. Next item.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Next item will be
We do not need,
Canvas on Morris LLC, 2335 Morris Avenue, Suite 4, Birmingham, Alabama, 35203. Kelly Caulfield.
Good afternoon.
good afternoon. All right, Detective Fikes, if you'll let us know what incidents are at that location.
No incidents.
All right, Mr. Lowe.
Zone B4 Central Business District meets zoning requirements.
All right, Ms. Brown.
She's good with taxes and license.
All right, if you'll state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Kelly Caulfield, located at 2335 Morris Avenue, Suite 4.
Okay, and you are representing,
Canvas on Morris.
okay. That's not in my, I don't have your paperwork. Okay, while we find your paperwork, if you'll tell us about what you're going to be doing.
It's an event center, but we mostly cater to the corporate crowd.
Okay, what are your hours of operation?
So it's all dependent on events, but mostly we'll do like breakfast events for corporate clients and evening events, Monday through Saturday, and then small events on Sunday during the day, from 9 to 5
Okay, so the latest you will ever be open is 5 o'clock?
on Sundays, and then during the week, probably about 9 o'clock, just depending on. So we'll do some like trainings and things like that. We've had inquiries from organizations like business hubs trying to do their classes and trainings, you know, after work hours, things like that.
Okay, so will you ever be hosting any events that are promoted by third-party individuals?
No.
Will you be hosting events that differ from the hours of the safety plan that I'm reading?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have any questions, Mr. Moore?
Would you also be willing to tie into the real-time crime scene?
Of course. We do have cameras inside, and we can work on getting that handled. And we have 2 cameras on the exterior of the building that belong to our building owner, but we can also discuss that with him.
The same physical location?
It's same physical location, same name, same staff. It's just, I didn't want to buy the corporation because
You don't, yeah, okay, that's fine, you don't have to explain. I just trying to get clarity into.
Yes, sir.
You know, because it's a kind of a well-known name. Counselor, do you have any questions?
No, I don't. I move for approval.
All right, second, that item is approved, and Mr. Stanley will reach out when it goes before the full council. Next item,
Thank you.
Detective Fikes.
Next item will be Workplay Enterprise LLC, doing business as Workplay, 523rd Street South, Birmingham, Alabama, 35233, Benton, Jackson.
All right, if you'll state your name. and
Johnny
address.
Grimes. Ben Jackson is stranded at the Orlando airport.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair. Is the person standing behind you an applicant?
No, I'm president of the neighborhood association.
I don't think he's called for anyone at this time except for the applicant.
Okay, usually they ask for some support.
The only person he's called for is the applicant at this time.
All right, thank you. Detective Fikes, do we have any incidents at this location?
No incidents.
All right, zoning, Mr. Lowe.
Zone M1 light industrial meets the zoning requirements.
All right, Ms. Brown.
They are good with Texas and license.
All right, this applicant went before the Southside neighborhood on June the 20th. It says 2 were in attendance and 2 supported. Does that sound right?
Say that again.
It says 2 were in attendance?
Yes, me and Ben Jackson were, but Ben's in the Orlando airport, can't get
Well,
home.
no, I mean, like you said, the total vote
Residents.
is 2 individuals. Do you remember what happened in that meeting?
There was only 2 that attended.
Okay, so that's not a quorum, so we're not going to even worry about the neighborhood forum. Do you have any questions, Counselor Moore?
No, I don't. No, I don't. Well, no, I take that back. I do. So the neighborhood association is more of a recommendation and suggestion to the council, correct?
Correct.
Got you. Okay. I am curious why it was just 2 people. I guess the president could kind of give us a little.
I'm Paul Godby, president of the Neighborhood Association. I've just been having problems getting people to show up. I don't know why.
Got you.
So it's just 2 residents there. So that was it. We voted and they passed.
Okay.
We're willing to go ahead and let them come in.
Got you. All right, I'll move for approval.
All right, second. That item passes, and we'll be in touch on when you need to come before the full council.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next item, detectives.
Next item will be Golden Age Wines LLC, doing business Golden Age Wine, 2021 Second Avenue North, Birmingham, Alabama, 35203, Brandon Loper.
All right, Detective Fikes, do we have any incidents at this location?
No incidents.
All right, Mr. Lowe.
Zone B4 Central Business District meets zoning requirements.
All right, Ms. Brown.
They are good with taxes and license.
All right, this applicant did go before the Central City Neighborhood Association on June the 18th. 13 were in attendance and all 13 supported. If you'll please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Brandon Loper, 2021 Second Avenue North.
Okay. And I believe that this is part of that new development on, well, tell me a little bit about where this is going to be.
Yes, this is going to be a outdoor kind of wine garden courtyard.
Okay.
And it's the old Birmingham Bar building. And so we are sort of just leasing the courtyard and some interior space for a kitchen. But it's next to where Rob and Emily are going to go right there. It's on that block.
Yeah, did you, were you part of the group that put on the Golden Age Wine Festival on Sunday?
Yes. Yeah, I am the
My
person
Monday
who put that
was
on.
unproductive because of you.
Apologies for that.
Anyway, Counselor, do you have any questions?
No, no questions. That courtyard is a beautiful space, though. I think that's the old Birmingham Bar Association's building.
Yes, sir, it is. Yeah, we've sort of done some landscaping, cleaned it up a little bit, and yeah, it's beautiful. We're going to leave it as it is. So,
Gotta come check it out. Move for approval.
Second, that item passes. Mr. Stanley will be in touch when it goes before
Thank you.
full council. Thank you. All right, next item, Detective Fikes.
Next item will be, well, item 13 and 14 are the same, with two different suite numbers, A and B. Will be Sam's Car Wash Tobacco and Liquor Outlet, doing business at Sam's Car Wash and Tobacco Liquor Outlet, 1729 Jefferson Avenue Southwest, Suite A, Birmingham, Alabama, 35211, Celine Nordine.
All right, Mr. Detective Fikes, are the incidents of the location?
No incidents, just location.
All right, Mr. Lowe, how did they look on zoning?
Zone C1 neighborhood commercial, they meet zoning requirements.
Okay, Mr. Lowe, has zoning gone out and actually inspected this property?
Yes, I went out there, rode by the dumpsters in the proper location. I don't require for them to be present because there's nothing for me to sign off on, so.
Okay. The reason I ask that is because I've been sent several concerned photos that show the location is generally unkempt, and there are cars stored, some with even looks like a tarp on them, which I believe would be a zoning violation. So how is this passing?
Miss Brundage is handling that.
Okay,
That's
so,
already in the works.
so they have been cited or what?
Well, from my correspondence with her, they have already taken steps to cite it. I don't know where they are in that process, but my checking is for the dumpster and then actually for parking, but we don't have any parking requirements anymore, so.
Okay, I have an issue with this because I don't understand how they pass zoning when the photos of this, location there's clear zoning violations. Ms. Brown, how are they with tax and licenses?
They are good with taxes and license.
All right, you guys are looking for a retail liquor license, Class 2, which would be a package store. Y'all attended the West End Manor Neighborhood Association on February 12th of this year. 35 were in attendance, 17 opposed, and 2 supported. So just to repeat that, 17 opposed and 2 supported. So y'all did not pass the recommendation of the neighborhood for this, as well as item 14, which Mr. Fikes, will you please also call up item 14?
Item 14 will be Sam's Car Wash Tobacco and Liquor Outlet LLC, 1729 Jefferson Avenue Southwest, Suite B, Birmingham, Alabama, 35211.
Okay, and then for this item, you're seeking not only the lounge retail liquor Class 2, but also the beer and wine off-premise license. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So, If you guys will state your name and address for the record and let me know, or let this committee know what you're trying to do here.
Yeah, I'm Salim Noordin. Everybody calls me Sam. I'm new owner of Sam's Car Wash Tobacco and Liquor Outlet located at 1729 Jefferson Avenue Southwest, Birmingham, Alabama 35211. I have a clean and lighted store with enough surveillance to share with the community if required, and necessary, and a lot of cameras and two screen TV to share with necessary to share with the authority. I would like to introduce Mr. Takia Hudson to take over and
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sam.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Takia Hudson, and I'm pretty much here almost as a translator to make the process easier for Mr. Sam. He understands, he can communicate, but we just want to expedite the process.
Sure.
I spent some time over at the store when I was asked to come help them. I've sent some videos over from what I've learned. He asked me to come. I wanted to see what I was coming to help with. So they reached out to the community and asked different ministers and teachers to do community projects at their store. They've been in the neighborhood for quite some time, so everybody knows them. But what they desired for us to understand was that they didn't just not want to rob the community of its resources, but they wanted to kind of help the community too and do things. I thought that was pretty cool. In reference to public safety, I saw their cameras. They're willing to put the cameras into the city system and that sort of thing. We also have two more members, citizens, that have come that have spent some time at the store personally before they would come to share with you just what they thought and what they were able to see. Because, again, they're from a whole other part of the world and they want to do business in this community. I think it's great. We want them to be safe too, but if they're not hurting the community, we're all for them. But I'd like to ask the minister and Sister Linda to come and share what they have to say in reference for Brother Sam. Again, they've been willing to, and the thing about it is they have a lot of different religious backgrounds, from India and different things, and they've reached out to preachers and, from other religions too, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay, so Mr. Hudson, just so that we're clear and on the record, you feel that a tobacco and liquor outlet is an asset to the community?
It's not so much about it being a tobacco outlet. You go have tobacco outlets and liquor stores in communities anyway. There are people that like that. I personally don't smoke and I don't drink, but there are people that do. And so you're going to have these stores in the community anyway, but for me, it's best for me to have people in the community that want to work with the community than just people in the community robbing the community resources. So if you're going to have tobacco outlets, you're going to have liquor stores, at least have it with people that are willing to work with you when you have needs or different things that you're trying to do. Because people going to drink and smoke, whether you like it or not. Again, I'm not saying Jesus told me to come tell you to let them smoke and drink. But I do understand that these are things that people do. And so if you're going to have owners or business owners, you want them to be safe. But you at least want people that if you need them to help you in the community, they will do so.
All right, Mr. Hudson. Mr. Moore, what's your pleasure? Would you like to hear from the public first, or would you like to ask questions first?
I just had a couple of comments and maybe a couple of questions, because I'm all for, business owners, being a part of the community and partnering with the residents there. My only concern is that, as I'm looking through some of the pictures that were sent in to us, there's overgrown grass, there's, it looks like broken down cars that are on the space. And so is it a car wash? Is it a repair shop?
Actually, it's a repair shop. And actually, main thing is we are waiting. As we get the license, we can renovate the whole store. So the whole store will be renovated according to the requirement, and we'll have additional cameras if required. We'll install every cameras. The store will be very bright, and I think personally, liquor store, as far as liquor store is concerned, there are two liquor stores in the neighborhood. One near the railway track and one after the railway track. This store is in the just opposite to the fire station. Fire station is our neighbor. That's most important thing. So every time we have somebody And second thing is, we don't allow nobody to loiter, be over there. In the community meeting also, I asked police protection after 6 o'clock because this is a gas station where senior citizen comes. Senior citizen, it's a full service station. We come out, we pump the gas, we do all kind of service to them. Second thing, I have been in this community for almost 10 to 15 years. So everybody knows me, and I know everybody are friends to me, they are good to me. Whenever I need help, I ask them straight. I don't say that, no, I don't want. I go ask them because they are my friend. The most important thing over the thing is like, I don't want my friends to go to an unsafe place and buy a liquor. I told in a meeting also, the community meeting also, we'll be concentrating on the shots, the short ones, and the pine. That's it. We won't concentrate on anything. This is because I want my friends, all my community members are my friends. So I want them to shop at a safer place. And second thing is, we have a big plan coming up, like you can see that by the name itself, car wash, tobacco, liquor, and even the novelty. We'll be selling the novelties also. So I think that will be the good place, according to me, and rest it's all upon your members.
Yeah.
And the president, yeah.
Nah, and I hear that. I'll just say that, you know, the photos that I'm looking at are unflattering, right, of the space. And we did, you know, have 17 community members to vote in opposition of this being moved forward. And so, yeah.
Okay. Let's hear from the community members. If there's members of the community that wish to speak for or against, if you'll come forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Johnny R. Allen, Reverend Allen. I've lived over in that community ever since 1970, 1225 16th Place Southwest. I also work for Birmingham City Schools. That's the director in school suspension director. I have been visiting that particular place for years. Up under this new management, I can tell you of a surety because recently I've gone by there because I'm connected with another pastor with Stop the Violence. I was in the community, I heard something about pictures or something. I've been over to visit. I don't know where the cars, they may have been there or whatever, but as of today, right now, there are no cars around that building. The place is clean, the dumpster's in place, and it is a safe place. I've spent a lot of days there because we've been barbecuing on the edge of their building. They've allowed us. My other concern is that this particular people that's running this thing right now, they're concerned about community. I've always been in the community. I have been helping. When I graduated from West End High School, went to college and came back and pastoring. I still work in that area. Winona High School as the director in school suspension. That area needs a positive influence, and these individuals are connected with bringing that positive influence, trying to get the young men that are around there to allow them to come in and do voc ed, learning how to repair cars and learning how to do something positive. When I look at some of the other places not too far from there, across the street, you got people hanging all out and doing a lot of other stuff. But at this premises, they don't allow people to come and solicit and do stuff. So they are in agreement to do everything that you all want them to do. I'm going to be working with them because I am from West End. My heart has always been there. And when I see people coming in, not just wanting to run a business and make a profit, I can't do nothing but help support them when they're trying to support the community.
All right, Reverend. A few questions based on the comments that you just made. If you'll stay at the microphone, please.
Okay.
So, Reverend, and I forget what we
Reverend Allen.
Reverend Allen. Reverend Allen, you said that you were barbecuing on the side of their building. Why were you barbecuing on the side of their building this week?
Well, we came there just to help stop the violence. That was one of the ways to just come out and allow the people to receive the free food, and to talk with people in the community, especially our young people, to try to get their minds centered on proper things, as well as not just giving them food, but giving them direction about going back to school, getting an education, and come off the streets and put the guns down.
Okay, so one consistent complaint that we get from this area are people barbecuing on the side of service stations. So I just wanted to see why you were barbecuing on the side of a service station. Reverend, you also said that one thing that is great about this establishment is that they teach young people how to repair cars. But this gentleman, Mr. Sam, just said that he will no longer be repairing any cars at that facility if we pass this today. So are you saying that if we pass this, he's going to take away this asset to the community?
Okay.
Excuse me, sir. We'll have a mechanic shop.
Oh, so you will have a mechanic
We'll
stuff?
have a mechanic shop because there are 4 bays. Out of 4 bays, there'll be 2 bays.
Speaking to the mic.
Yeah, sorry, I misled it. Actually, we have a 4 bay. Out of 4 bay, 2 will be for the mechanic shop.
Okay, so you said the proposal is, just so I'm clear, because it was just said that we would, if we pass this, it would renovate itself, you would renovate it.
Yeah, actually, the thing is, right now, mechanic store is ready. So
So
the
it's
thing
going to
is,
be
the liquor store is not ready. The convenience store is not ready.
All right, sir. The proposal for this property is a car wash,
Yeah,
a mechanical shop,
yeah,
a liquor store,
yeah.
a beer and wine shop, and a tobacco outlet. Is that, am I correct?
Yeah.
Based on the testimony that you've given here today, is that correct?
Yeah, actually, the tobacco and liquor, it comes as a package store.
Uh-huh.
And the gift and novelty, that comes as a convenience store.
Okay. And we have a reverend in the community saying that it would be an asset to the community if we changed this from a repair shop to a liquor, tobacco, and beer and wine outlet.
No, that's not.
Now, excuse me, sir, I have not called you up. I'm asking you, Mr. Sam, is
Yeah.
that correct?
No, we have an idea of keeping mechanic store.
Okay, so you're gonna keep the mechanic
Yeah,
store, but this would become an asset to the community if we let you sell liquor and
No,
tobacco.
actually, the liquor, we are proposing it is because the main thing is, if anybody wants to drink, they are going to drink it.
I didn't ask about,
Okay.
do people drink when they're 21?
Okay.
Okay, I'm asking about the testimony and the incoherence of the different people that you have brought here today. So if you three will sit down, ma'am, you have not spoken yet, you have 3 minutes. Please state your name and address.
My name is Linda Green, 1710 Berkeley Avenue in Bellsman. I work with Stop the Violence. We get out here and we go and witness to people and get into the community and try to do things to pull the young folks, to give them jobs and different things, and try to get them out to the street. And here we've been talking with him and talking to him about giving the kids something to do. And I like being over there because of the fact that I didn't see a lot of hanging around, because if they was hanging around, I was already gone, because I run from it. And, I ain't trying to be funny, because it's so much going on in the streets, and we got to reach our kids, and I thank God that he allowed us to come up there to help.
Okay, so will you remind me of your name? No, will you remind me of your name, please?
Sir?
Will you remind me of your name?
Linda Griggs.
Okay, Miss Linda. And you're with Stop the Violence?
Yes.
Okay, and do you receive any city funding?
No.
Okay.
We get out here and do it ourselves. We go out here and do.
And so if we allowed them to open a liquor and tobacco shop, you think that would be a benefit to the neighborhood to stop the violence? Is
Well,
that-
I'm not dealing with the liquor store.
Well, that's what they're here, that's the only thing we're dealing with today, is that they want to sell liquor. So you're saying that if we let them sell liquor, that it's going to assist in stopping the violence, is that correct?
No, I'm
No,
not
you're not
saying
saying
that.
that.
No,
Okay,
I'm
well,
not
what are you
saying
saying?
No, I'm not saying that. I was telling you what good that their
they
their
have
store is
done.
doing,
Okay,
the things that they're doing. I'm
Okay.
talking about their reputation and the things that they are doing out there to help reach out and pull folks in.
In my 6 years sitting on this council and 6 years sitting on the Public Safety Committee, I never in my life have heard the angle of trying to get this liquor store approved is that it will be an asset to the young people in the community. Mr. Moore, I think that you had some questions or comments that you would like to ask. Thank you, ma'am, for your testimony.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all thought that all the way through. Just being real. Yeah, I think that if you are a positive asset to the community, you're teaching young people how to work on cars, you don't need a liquor license to do it. You can continue doing what you're doing now. And, you know, I think that it would actually make the community better if this does not pass, because you will add a different distraction to the community. Like I said, the community has already stated that they would not like to have this to go forward. And so I'm just gonna lean into that, because, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Chief Moon, if you'll come forward, I know that Fire Station 15 is right next to this establishment. I think that it's appropriate that Birmingham Fire and Rescue weighs in on this. Would you like to weigh in on this at all?
No, sir.
Okay. I keep hearing that you guys are running this as a repair shop. Are they licensed to run this as a repair shop, or is it licensed just to be a service station?
Never seen it as a repair shop, but we can check into it.
Okay. I think that we need to check into that, and we need to have our team go out and make sure that they are not illegally running a repair shop at this location. Mr. Moore, do you have any more questions or a motion?
No, I'll move to deny.
Second, I also move to deny this applicant. All in favor? Aye. And so y'all will go before the full council with a recommendation of no from Public Safety Committee. Thank you. Yeah, that's going to be on both items 13 and 14 concurrently, as they were called. Thank you.
Chair.
Mr. Chair, you may want to get an opinion from the Office of the City Attorney on your recommendation, just to be clear.
Okay. What opinion, Office of City Attorney?
You voted to not recommend, but then you said you sent it to the council for no recommendation.
Well, let me clarify that if there's any confusion. The vote was to send to the full council, as is procedure, with a recommendation of no.
That's what I understood you said.
All right. So nothing further. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. Next item, item 15. We have an ordinance. Pursuant to Alabama Act 1969-916, the mayor to execute an interlocal governmental agreement with 3 years between City of Birmingham, Jefferson State Community College for clinical affiliation to allow students attending Jefferson State Community College to volunteer and work with Birmingham Fire and Rescue Service. This clinical affiliation will provide the students with an opportunity to gain experience, educational knowledge while providing assistance to Birmingham Fire and Rescue Service. Chief, thank you for being here.
Sir, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Corey Moon. I serve as the Fire Chief of Birmingham Fire and Rescue Service. So the item before you is a renewal of our clinical affiliation agreement with Jeff State. And this agreement allows their EMS students to do their required rescue unit rotations with Birmingham Fire and Rescue Service. And there's no impact to the city financially.
Is this something you recommend?
Sir?
Something you recommend, I assume? Has it been beneficial to the department?
Absolutely.
Any questions, Mr. Moore?
I do. How many students, I guess, have we seen, go from Jeff State to, I guess, working with us? Or
I don't have any data on that right now, but what this does is also works as a recruitment tool for any future students because it gives them the opportunity to come ride along and see what we do. So we also use it as a recruitment tool, but I don't have hard data on the number of students previously.
Got you. But it does kind of serve as a pipeline then to recruiting.
Absolutely.
Got you. Okay. No further questions.
All right. Motion.
Move for approval.
Second. All right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. For an item of new business,
Yes.
I would like to make a motion that we ask the administration through the city attorney's office to work on to create, research, and work on an ordinance that will require an applicant that falls under the Felder ordinance of needing a safety plan to connect their cameras to the real-time crime center.
That's mandatory.
I think that through research that they will
Gotcha.
figure out what legal hurdles exist, don't exist, whatever.
Cool. I move for approval.
All right, second, that item is approved, and I don't see any old business.
Move for adjournment.
Thank you, we're adjourned.